Hello, and welcome to Podcast for English. My name is Linda. I'm really happy you're here today. This channel is for people who want to learn English in a simple and natural way. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to speak fast. You don't need to understand every word. You only need to listen. You can listen while you rest. You can listen while you work. You can listen while you live your daily life. Take a deep breath, relax your body, clear your mind. Now, let's begin today's English lesson together. In today's episode, I will share 9 simple reasons why learning English can truly change your life. The first reason, English opens your world. Learning English can change your life because it opens your world. At first, your world may feel small. You wake up, you go to work, you come home, you repeat the same day. You see the same places, you hear the same words. You listen to the same ideas. Life feels familiar, and sometimes life feels limited. But when you start learning English, something begins to change, not suddenly, not loudly, slowly. You begin to hear new sounds. You begin to notice new words. At first, you understand very little, maybe one word. Maybe one short sentence. But that small understanding matters because it shows you something important. It shows you that learning is possible. English gives you access to information, access to stories, access to people from different places and different lives. When you understand English, you are not limited to one language and one way of thinking. You can listen to podcasts, you can watch videos, you can read short text, you can learn from people you have never met. This changes how you see the world. You begin to notice that people think differently. They talk about life in different ways. They share ideas you never heard before. This makes your world bigger, not in distance, but in meaning. English helps you see that the world is not far away. It is closer than you think. You may listen to a story from another country. You may hear about someone's daily life. You may understand their feelings and their struggles. And suddenly, you feel connected. This connection is powerful because connection changes perspective. You stop thinking only about your own small world. You begin to see a bigger picture. You begin to understand that there are many paths, many choices, many ways to live. English opens these doors. Not all at once, one door at a time. Every new word is a small door. Every new sentence is a small step. Step by step, your world grows. You may not notice the change on the first day or the second day, but one day you realize something. You feel less closed, less afraid, more open. You feel curious. You want to learn more. You want to listen more. You want to understand more. This curiosity is important because curiosity moves you forward. English opens your world by opening your mind. And when your mind opens, your life begins to change. Slowly, quietly, naturally. The second reason, English changes how you see life. Learning English slowly changes the way you see life. At first, life looks the same. You do the same things. You think the same thoughts. You see the same problems. Everything feels normal. And sometimes everything feels boring. But when English becomes part of your life, your view begins to change. You start to see life from more than one side. You listen to people from different countries. You hear how they talk about work, about family, about dreams, about problems. You notice something interesting. Many people are different, but many people are also the same. They feel tired, they feel hopeful, they feel afraid. They want a better life. This helps you see that your life is part of a bigger story. English helps you step back. You stop looking only at your own problems. You start to see the bigger picture. Some problems feel smaller. Some worries feel lighter. Not because they disappear, but because you understand more. English also changes how you see success. Before, success may look very far away. It may feel like something only for others. But when you hear real stories, real voices, real experiences, you understand something important. Change is possible. People grow. People learn. People improve. Not all at once. Not easily. But step by step, English shows you many paths in life. You see people who start late. You see people who fail many times. You see people who keep going. This changes how you see yourself. You stop thinking, I can't. You start thinking, maybe I can. English also changes how you see time. You stop rushing. You stop expecting everything to change quickly. You begin to understand that real change takes time. This makes you calmer. You become more patient. You stop fighting life. You start moving with life. English helps you notice small things. A new word. A new idea. A new way to say something simple. These small things make daily life richer. Life feels less flat, less empty. You feel more alive. You feel more connected to what is happening around you. English does not change life by making it perfect. It changes life by helping you understand it better. And when you understand life better, you live with more awareness, more meaning, more choice. This is how English changes the way you see life, slowly, naturally, from the inside. The third reason, English changes how you think. Learning English slowly changes the way you think. At first, you may not notice it. Your thoughts feel the same. Your habits feel the same. But little by little, something begins to shift. You start to hear new ways of saying things. You notice that one idea can be said in many ways. Simple ways, clear ways, kind ways. This is important because language shapes thinking. When you learn English, you learn new patterns. You learn how ideas are built. You learn how meaning is shared. You begin to think more clearly. You begin to organize your thoughts better. You also begin to slow down. English teaches you to listen before you react. You wait. You listen. You try to understand. This habit changes your thinking. You become less quick to judge, less quick to assume. You start asking, "What does this mean?" instead of, "Why is this wrong?" English helps you be more curious. Curiosity opens the mind. You stop focusing only on correct or incorrect. You start focusing on meaning. You ask yourself, what is the main idea? What is the feeling behind the words? This way of thinking reduces stress. You stop fighting the language. You start working with it. English also changes how you talk to yourself. Before, you may say, "I'm bad at this. I can't do this." But when you learn English, you learn that mistakes are part of learning. You hear many people speak. You hear accents, you hear errors, you hear pauses, and you understand something important. No one is perfect. People communicate, people try, people improve. This changes your inner voice. You become kinder to yourself. You stop using harsh words. You start using gentle words. Instead of "I failed," you think "I'm learning." This small change has a big impact because the way you think affects how you feel, and how you feel affects how you act. English also teaches you to think step by step. You learn one word, then one sentence, then one idea. You stop expecting everything at once. You learn to build slowly. This skill is useful in many parts of life. You become more patient, more focused. You stop giving up too quickly. English trains your mind to stay with difficulty. You do not run away when something feels hard. You stay. You listen. You try again. Over time, this changes your thinking. You believe more in progress. You trust the process. English does not just add new words to your mind. It reshapes how your mind works. And when your thinking changes, your life begins to change too. The fourth reason, English builds confidence. Learning English slowly builds confidence. Not loud confidence, not fast confidence, quiet confidence. At the beginning, you may feel shy. You may feel nervous when you hear English. You may worry that you do not understand enough. This feeling is normal. Many people feel this way. But something changes when you keep listening. You hear English every day. You hear the same words again. You hear the same sounds again. Slowly, these sounds feel familiar. And when something feels familiar, it feels less scary. Confidence begins here, not in speaking, not in perfection, in understanding. One day, you understand a simple sentence. Another day, you understand the main idea. You may not understand everything, but you understand enough. This is important because understanding creates trust. You begin to trust your ears. You begin to trust your mind. You begin to think, "I can follow this." This small thought changes how you feel. You feel calmer. You feel more relaxed. You stop panicking when you miss a word. You stay with the sentence. You stay with the message. This is confidence. English also builds confidence through repetition. You hear the same phrases, you hear the same patterns. Each time, they feel easier. Each time, you feel more sure. You are not guessing anymore. You are recognizing. Recognition builds confidence. You also begin to notice that mistakes are normal. You hear people speak English with different accents, different speeds, different styles. You realize something important. There is not one perfect English. There are many Englishes. This realization removes pressure. You stop trying to be perfect. You start trying to be clear. You start trying to understand and be understood. Confidence grows when pressure goes down. English also helps you speak more kindly to yourself. Before, you may say, "I'm not good at this." Now you say, "I'm getting better." This change matters because confidence is built from inside, not from others. Not from tests, from small wins, from small moments of understanding. Over time, these moments add up. You feel stronger. You feel more stable. You feel less afraid to try new things. This confidence does not stay only with English. It moves into other areas of life. You feel more ready, more open, more willing to learn. English builds confidence by showing you one truth. You are capable of growth. And when you believe that, your life begins to change. The fifth reason, English helps you believe in yourself. Learning English helps you believe in yourself. At first, you may not feel this. You may feel unsure. You may feel weak. You may doubt yourself. This is normal. Many people feel this way when they start learning. But belief does not come first. Belief comes later. Belief grows from small actions, from small efforts, from small moments. Each time you listen, you make a promise to yourself. A quiet promise. I am trying. I am not giving up. This matters because belief is built from action, not from words. English helps you see that you can stay with something difficult. You listen, even when it feels hard. You continue, even when you feel tired. You do not quit at the first problem. This changes how you see yourself. You stop thinking, "I always give up." You start thinking, "I can keep going." This shift is powerful. English also shows you that learning is possible at any age. You hear people who start late. You hear people who struggle. You hear people who improve. Their stories become mirrors. You see yourself in them. You realize, if they can learn, maybe I can too. This idea plants a seed of belief. Over time, that seed grows. English also helps you accept imperfection. You learn that you do not need to be perfect to make progress. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to continue. This lesson is very important because many people stop trying when things are not perfect. English teaches you to keep going anyway. This builds trust in the process, trust in yourself. You begin to feel more steady, more grounded. You stop waiting to feel ready. You start moving even when you feel unsure. This is belief, not loud, not dramatic, quiet, strong. English helps you believe not because it is easy, but because it shows you that you can learn. And once you believe that, many other things in life begin to feel possible. The sixth reason, English becomes part of daily life. Learning English slowly becomes part of your daily life. At first, English feels separate. It feels like something extra, something you must plan, something you must force. But over time, this feeling changes. English starts to fit into your normal day. You listen in the morning, you listen in the afternoon, you listen in the evening. Not for a long time, not with pressure, just a little. English moves from study time to lifetime. You listen while you walk. You listen while you drive. You listen while you rest. Learning does not stop life. Learning joins life. This is an important change because when English becomes part of daily life, it feels natural. You are not studying. You are just listening. You hear words again. You hear sounds again. You hear patterns again. Repetition happens without effort, and repetition is how language grows. Your ears get used to the sound. Your mind gets used to the rhythm. English feels less foreign, less heavy. You do not feel tired when you hear it. You feel calm. This calm feeling matters because calm allows learning. When you are calm, you stay longer. You do not turn it off when it feels hard. You stay with it. English also becomes part of your thinking. You remember words during the day. You notice English in signs, in videos, in small messages. You do not avoid it anymore. You notice it. You welcome it. This is a big change. Before, English may have felt like a problem. Now, English feels like a familiar sound, something you live with. English also changes your routine. You begin to create small habits. You listen at the same time each day. You listen during simple moments. These habits do not feel difficult. They feel normal. And normal habits last. English does not need strong motivation. It needs presence. A little every day. When English becomes part of your daily life, progress happens quietly. You do not feel it every day. But one day, you notice something. You understand more. You feel less stress. You feel more comfortable. This is growth. Not fast, not loud, steady. English becomes part of who you are, not something you fight. And when learning feels like living, change becomes easy. The seventh reason, English teaches patience. Learning English teaches patience. Not the kind of patience you talk about, the kind you live with. At the beginning, you may want results quickly. You want to understand more. You want to speak better. You want to feel confident now. But English moves slowly, and this can feel hard. You listen, but you do not understand everything. You repeat, but progress feels small. This is where patience begins. English teaches you to slow down, to accept that learning takes time. You learn that growth does not follow a straight line. Some days feel good. Some days feel confusing. Both are part of learning. English helps you stay even when things feel unclear. You learn to sit with confusion without getting angry. You learn to continue without seeing results right away. This is patience. You begin to understand that small steps matter. One word today, one sentence tomorrow. Not fast, but real. English also teaches you to stop comparing yourself. You stop asking, why am I slow? You start thinking, I'm learning at my pace. This change is important because comparison creates pressure and pressure blocks learning. English teaches you to trust the process. You listen again. You hear the same idea again. Each time it feels a little easier. Not because you forced it, but because your mind adjusted. This takes time, and English gives you time. You also learn to be patient with yourself. You stop using harsh words inside your mind. You stop saying, I'm not good enough. You start saying, this takes time. This gentle voice creates a safe space, and in a safe space, learning can grow. English teaches patience by asking you to stay, to listen, to wait, to continue. This patience does not stay only with English. It moves into your life. You become calmer when things do not go as planned. You become stronger when progress feels slow. You stop quitting at the first difficulty. English shows you that patience is not weakness. It is strength. And when you learn patience, you gain something very valuable. You gain the ability to grow without rushing. This lesson changes how you learn, and it changes how you live. The eighth reason, English helps you grow step by step. Learning English helps you grow step by step. Not in big jumps, not in one moment, one step at a time. At first, you may want to grow fast. You may want big changes right away. But English shows you a different way, a slower way, a gentler way. You learn one word. You listen to one sentence. You understand one idea. This may feel small, but small steps matter because small steps move you forward. English teaches you to focus on today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, just today. What can you understand today? What can you listen to today? This mindset reduces stress. You stop thinking about how far you need to go. You start thinking about the next small step. English also helps you notice progress. Before, you may not see change. Now you begin to notice small wins. You understand a sentence without translating. You recognize a word you heard before. You feel less lost when listening. These moments are signs of growth. They may not feel exciting, but they are real. English teaches you that growth is quiet. It happens while you are listening. It happens while you are living your life. You do not need to push yourself hard. You do not need to rush. You only need to continue, step by step. English also changes how you react to mistakes. Before, a mistake may stop you. Now, a mistake becomes part of the step. You do not turn back. You do not quit. You take the next step. This builds strength, not loud strength, steady strength. You begin to trust that slow growth works. You begin to believe that small effort is enough. English teaches you that progress is not perfect. Some steps feel easy. Some steps feel heavy. But every step counts. Over time, these small steps create distance. You move farther than you expected. You grow more than you noticed. And one day, you look back. You see how far you came. Not because you rushed, not because you forced it, but because you kept moving. English helps you grow step by step, and this way of growing lasts because it is kind, because it is real, because it is yours. The 9th reason, English prepares you for the future. Learning English prepares you for the future, not by giving you answers, but by helping you feel ready. At first, the future may feel unclear. You may feel unsure about what will happen. You may feel worried about new situations. English does not remove all fear, but it changes how you face it. When you learn English, you become more comfortable with the unknown. You listen to new topics. You hear new ideas. You meet new voices. You do not understand everything, and that is okay. You learn to stay calm even when things are not clear. This is an important skill because the future is not always clear. English teaches you to listen first, to observe, to understand the main idea. This helps you in many situations. At work, in travel, in learning new skills. You feel less afraid to enter new spaces. You feel more prepared to handle change. English also gives you more choices. You can learn new things. You can follow new paths. You may not choose every opportunity. But knowing that you can changes how you think. You feel more open, more flexible. You stop feeling stuck. English also helps you communicate more easily. You learn to explain ideas. You learn to ask questions. You do not need perfect words. You only need clear meaning. This skill is valuable because communication is part of the future. English also changes how you imagine yourself. You begin to see a version of you who can adapt, who can learn, who can grow. This image matters because how you see yourself shapes how you act. English helps you feel more prepared, not because you know everything, but because you trust your ability to learn. This trust is powerful. The future is always changing. English does not promise a perfect future, but it prepares you to face it with more confidence, more calm, and more choice. And that preparation changes everything. You've reached the end of today's episode. Before you leave, I want you to remember one simple thing. You did something good for yourself today. You listened. You stayed. You didn't give up. And that matters. Learning English is not about being fast. It is not about being perfect. It is about showing up again and again. Some days will feel easy. Some days will feel hard. Both are normal. Progress does not always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels quiet. Sometimes you don't notice it at all. But learning is still happening. Every minute you listen, your ears are learning new sounds. Your mind is learning new patterns. Your confidence is growing, even if you cannot see it yet. You don't need to push yourself. You don't need to compare yourself to others. You are on your own path, and your pace is enough. Let English be part of your daily life. Listen while you rest. Listen while you work. Listen while you live your normal day. If this episode helped you feel calmer, more focused, or more motivated, then your time here was well spent. Come back when you can. Come back when you need a quiet space to learn. My name is Linda, and this is Podcast for English. Thank you for learning with me. Until next time, keep going and never give up. Believe in yourself, because you are stronger than you think.